Welcome to the Mystical Truths Podcast. This is Rebecca, and I'm really glad you're here. Let's unlock your world. Isn't fun the best thing to have? I heard that line in the movie Arthur many years ago, and it's been my line ever since. In the movie, the lead character, Arthur, said to a hooker that he was dining with at a very classy restaurant, "Isn't fun the best thing to have?" And I thought, good point. And what I liked most about his character was that he didn't care what others thought. He was trying to find fun and ease in the presence of people around him who were so serious, responsible, dignified, boring. He saw the world as a big playground, and it is. For example, let's take a look at that maze analogy that I talked about in a previous episode. The maze is just one way to look at life and what we're doing here and how guidance works in that. So the maze, meaning this big world with a lot going on, everything is always changing as you're changing your preferences and your mind about things. And so as you go through this maze of life, you have guidance from those who have a bird's eye view and are always available, streaming guidance. But because it's a big maze with a lot going on, you get distracted, you start listening to other people in the maze and what their experiences have been, and it can get difficult, it can get messy, it can be easy. And you notice when you're being more easy about it, you can sense some type of direction, or you get an impulse to go that way, or to stop and talk to that person. When you're more distracted in the maze, it becomes more distracting, more frustrating. So imagine that you and several of your soul besties, before you came into this physical experience, were being playful and fun because you're all about the fun. And at some point, a bunch of you decided that you want to do this physical maze again because it's just fun. You all know the challenges and the benefits of it. You also know there are always way more souls who are not in the maze, who love to be playful and guide you along that adventure because they have the bird's eye view. They can see the broader vantage point of what's going on in your particular version of the maze, because it is different for everybody. And maybe you all felt the increasing desires for freedom coming from so many that were currently physical. They don't like the increasing laws and the rules being decided by very serious people. So as you all consider the parameters of this next physical experience, you consider that and a whole lot more. Each of you will have your own point and time of entrance and exit. You pick the body, the personality, the family, the location, the potentials, and so on. Just the parameters. Because those specifics that you chose will be helpful this time in, will be useful to you for what you're looking for. So like I said, the maze is not the same for each of you, and you know that. It's going to be similar, but unique to each one of you, and that it'll become whatever you give your attention to and your expectation to. And like I said, maybe you've taken into consideration that human increasing call to be free. So you and a few others choose personalities that are determined to be free, not because you want to come in and save the world, but because it's just fun. It's fun for all of creation too. So in that, some of you are going to pick personalities with really strong preferences that just do not match the standard. A couple of you may be the first to wear PJs to Walmart during the day because that's something that people never did before. That was unacceptable. But should it be? Some of you will be a person who celebrates a body that many humans have decided is too big, too small, too this, too that, too different. Several of you choose what humans call autism because that personality is really strong and it knows its own sense of freedom and self and ease and desire and individual happiness. So they come as reminders that none of us came here to conform. We came here to create. And they remind us that no human is the boss of us. So you all know you're coming in hot to a world of incredible variety and resistance. How fun is that? And keep in mind, there is an endless variety to different types of experiences that we can have here or choose to have here. So on you go. You each focus a small percentage of your energy into that physical experience. And other than the few parameters that you've set in place, the rest is uncharted. You're free to create as you go along. So a day in the maze of life is like a day in a foreign city, kind of. It's all new to you. You don't know your way around. You haven't been exactly here before. But no worries. You have guidance that not only knows the city or the life or the maze, but knows everything and everyone in it and is streaming guidance about that to you. So a fun day is when you're being happy because you can and things are working out for you. A not fun day there looks like this. You're walking around in the city or the maze, trying to figure out where to go, what to do, what dangers might lurk, what everyone else is doing or what they think you should be doing. And you get a thought to make a right turn, just walk to the right, but you don't. You think going straight just makes better sense, so you do. You get another thought to enter a building that you're passing, but you think, there's really nothing in that building that I'm looking for. There's nothing I need in there, so you just pass it up. And that sort of thing continues. And suddenly you realize you really got to pee. You need to go to the bathroom. And you don't see any bathrooms around. So you start searching, asking people, worrying, complaining about the lack of bathrooms. Someone tells you there's a restroom right around the corner. You go and there is not one. So now you're really frustrated and upset. You really have to pee. And all the while, your inner beings and those who guide you know where all the restrooms are. They suggested one to the right a little while back. They suggested a building that had 2 of them. But they're not worried or disappointed. They know that you'll either find one, or your bladder will just eventually override your ability to hold it because it knows it has to eliminate the waste, and the situation will resolve itself. So you can have either one. You can have the bathroom experience or the bladder releasing experience. They're both available to you. But the one of ease is really what everybody wants, right? And that was being made available. But because you were so busy getting caught up in the city and the lack of this or the lack of that, the frustrations or just the fact that you don't know the city and you're not sure where to go in the city, that takes away the fun. So do you see why fun is the best thing to have when you're just bopping along, enjoying yourself, taking in the city, being curious about the city, loving the city? You turn right and realize you have to pee and you find a bathroom. Or you enter a building for no reason you can think of, realize you have to go to the bathroom, and there are 2 for you to pick from. So I looked up the definition of fun, and it said enjoyment, amusement, lighthearted pleasure. And I thought that was kind of fun because it made me think, well, is there a dark-hearted pleasure? I don't know what that would be. So maybe we can just say enjoyment, amusement, pleasure. So as you go through life, what kind of fun can you have today? What kind of fun will you be today? What kind of fun will be guided to you if you loosen up and get lighthearted? One example is I have so much fun just by myself. While I was prepping for this recording, I had an impulse to Google, what's the funniest joke in the world? It just seemed like a good idea at the time. So I opened up my phone and OK Google and asked the question, what's the funniest joke in the world? And Google gave me back a definition of something about a turkey. And I chuckled. I thought that was funny because it totally was not a joke. And I tried again. What's the funniest joke? And it gave me a completely irrelevant definition. Tried it again, a completely irrelevant, different definition. So by this time I'm laughing thinking, that's it. You answered my question. That's the funniest joke. Because normally when I ask Google a question, and I've done this for my grandsons, which is a joke about a pig or a joke about, tell me a funny joke, and it'll just tell you a funny joke. But I wasn't getting a joke right then. And to me, that was funny. The joke was on me. And then that reminded me of a day that I was on my way to pick up my daughter. And I wanted to text her and let her know that I was getting kind of close because I was just going to pick her up and keep going. And I just passed a restaurant not too far from her. So I pick up my phone, hit the microphone, and I couldn't think of the name of the restaurant. And I said, I just passed the Toasted Frog. And I thought, no, that's totally not right. And I looked down at my phone and it said something else anyway. So I erased that and I gave it another shot. I came up with another name that I thought it was, and I knew that wasn't it. My phone was giving me a different thing anyway. So I knew it had something to do with the frog or something like that. And finally, it just was so funny because everything I was saying, I knew was not even close. My phone was typing in something different. I'm laughing now because it was just hysterical. Tears are running down my cheeks. I'm laughing even harder because it just kept getting more silly and more funny. And I just couldn't think of the name of this restaurant that I've passed a lot of times. And so I pull up to get her and honk the horn. She comes out and sees that, I'm laughing and the tears are running down my cheeks. I've got a Kleenex. I'm trying to clean myself up. And I said to her, what is the name of that restaurant down the street, the frog place? And she said, you mean the Smoking Toad? And I thought, oh yeah, that's it. That's totally it. So it was just fun. Now, could my inner guidance have just given me the name of the restaurant? Could I have just tuned in and gotten the right? If I would have just calmed down, would I have gotten the right answer? Probably, but sometimes being accurate is not nearly as much fun as that was. So sometimes you can just have fun all by yourself. And I don't even think it was really by myself. I was having fun with all of creation. Source tells us when you're not having fun, you're sort of missing the point. And that's worth thinking about. When you're not having fun, you're sort of missing the point. So fun is, and this is not the same for everybody, but fun is basically doing what you want to do. Laughing, feeling good, being silly or acting screwy. Fun has life in it. It has enjoyment in it. It has love in it. It has inspiration in it. And that means when you're having fun, you're tuned into Source. You're co-creating even if you don't realize it. And that means things are really syncing up well for you, even if you don't see it. So that's why I believe that fun really is the best thing to have. So until next time, how about you just go have some fun? Just because you can. Just because it's not only good for you, it's good for all of creation. Because I might have been the only human laughing in my car that day, but I was not the only one laughing. You can find me at mysticaltruths.com.